Okay, so as you can see, I made a little bit of progress. I just worked the sides a little bit. You can see I still have some flat sides from the original, and I still have tons and tons of hours of work ahead of me. But I wanted you to just look at how things are progressing. So with my maquette, this being the highest point, so this area here I'm leaving high until I can get the right arch down. This, the big sweeping line, which is really the drama of the whole piece, I started here to take this down in a flat area. So we'll see if you guys can see that it's going down, maybe from this angle, right? So this is coming downward so that it mirrors this downward area of the maquette. So you always want to be thinking ahead of time about what area you need to put even more focus on so that you can get the right angle accomplished. Now, this maquette that I'm working with has a big, giant negative space, and I'm excited about having that negative space because I know that it'll create value in my sculpture by casting light and casting shadows from the different angles as a viewer, would make their way around the piece. However, doing something like this is a huge risk, and some of you realize that with the soap about taking risks, making things thin. So this would be considered thin for plaster, and I have that big negative space. So there's a few ways I could go about doing it. Of course, I can dig all the way through. So I've been trying to take off as much material here. So I still will take off more material because it gets really narrow. It's wider at the bottom, but more narrow. So I'm going to keep that wide and take this down just a little bit more. But then I can use, if I have available to me, a drill. So I have a drill here, and it just has a regular bit, and you're going to want to clean it really well when you're done. But you can actually drill a bunch of holes, almost like Swiss cheese, and that's less impact for your plaster sculpture. So that means less risk. If I'm here and I'm going to be chiseling in here with my chisel, hopefully a smaller chisel, that's fine. You just want to support it, maybe even with a bag of sand, and you can slowly start making your way in both areas till you can get all the way through. A loop tool in the ceramics world would work really well. Also, I'm looking to see if I have one. I have this small loop tool, but you can actually buy an individual larger one at a craft store. And if your piece is soft enough, or you can add some water actually to your piece, just be careful, not too much water, but you can actually add water. The plaster will absorb and drink up a little water, so you could actually continue digging all your way through. That too would be less impact. Or you can use a drill, and you can actually go into the plaster and make some multiple holes and then come back in with a chisel. The other thing you can do if you have a drill is you can buy a different size bit, and that will allow you to create even bigger holes, meaning even less going back in. Just make sure you're doing it on the correct angle so you don't end up puncturing a hole in a side that you didn't want, and that you're being really careful with how you hold the piece, and go really slow, just a little bit of impacting out. That's only if you have a drill. Otherwise, you'll just be slowly making your way through the area. So that's my tip, and I'll show you the progress when I keep working on it.